Today was the sentence of the man that murdered my son, Michael Antoine Hemphill. Everyone calls him Smoov.
On February 1st, 2022, 46-year-old Michael Smoov Antoine Hemphill died from injuries sustained in a shooting on Yanceyville Street in Greensboro, North Carolina. Anthony Gilbert Jr. was beaten to death on West Terrell Street on March 10th. His phone, car, and wallet were missing.
I just want for our family to have our closure we deserve.
On March 25th, James Goolsby was last sighted on the 1000 block of Summit Avenue. His body was found across state lines in Virginia in April. On April 5th, John Richardson, defendant 1, was arrested and charged with 6 counts, none of which were murder. On April 8th, Jonathan Murphy, or defendant 2, was charged with Hemphill's murder. On April 19th, defendant 1 was charged with Gilbert's murder. On April 22nd, defendant 1 was charged with Goolsby's murder. That's the entire too long did not watch version of events. If you're interested in the details, why don't you click the thumbs up while I play my overly obnoxious trigger warning. Roll the intro.
My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines where the sun don't ever shine. I will shiver the whole night through. My girl, where will you go? I am going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. Shiver. Oh, my girl,
Before we get to the end of Smoov's life, Greensboro News and Record published a video of Smoov's mother talking about him. Let's watch most of it.
I'm still crying. My kids are still crying and having all kinds of crazy dreams, and we talk about him every day, but that keeps him alive in our heart. And Michael know he was loved by his sons, by his nieces, nephews, his brothers. He only had one sister, and it's him. Everybody calls me from Jersey, tells me, they just still can't believe Mike is gone. We can't believe he's gone. And I tell them, I'm his mother, and I can't believe he's gone, because Michael, he was quiet. He didn't bother anyone. He did what he did, but you didn't know what he did unless you was in his circle, and he didn't bring it around his mother. So I miss my child every day, and it really hurts, because I said that'd be a day I never forget, because he killed him the day before my birthday, and that right there hurts more than anything.
In the late hours of January 25th, 2022, and into the early morning hours of January 26th, 2022, the Greensboro police were really busy. Just after 11 p.m., they responded to a shooting on the 400 block of West Meadowview Road. The victim was transported to the hospital, where they were listed as stable. I have no information on the victim or any suspects in this case. A little before 2 a.m., a shooting was reported on the 1900 block of Rayston Drive. One victim was transported to the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds. I have no further information on this crime. About an hour and a half before the last shooting, a call came into 911 reporting that a victim of a headshot wound was found on the 3200 block of Yanceyville Street. This was Smoov. At the time of the shooting and later death, Smoov was 46 years old. Police arrived on the scene to find one man suffering from a headshot wound who was still conscious. He was rapidly transported to the hospital. While police worked on identifying the victim, medical professionals worked to keep him alive. Police quickly succeeded in their task. Unfortunately, medical professionals were less successful, and Smoov died on February 1st, at which point the crime was upgraded to a homicide investigation. In early April, police arrested 38-year-old Jonathan Murphy for the murder and also charged him with possession of a firearm by a felon. Their investigation was not complete yet. On April 5th, 53-year-old John Richardson was charged for 2 counts of possessing a firearm by a felon, conspiracy, carrying a concealed weapon, manufacturing or possessing a weapon of mass destruction, and receiving stolen vehicles. On April 6th, dozens of police officers swarmed Richardson's Byers Road home armed with a search warrant. A neighbor commented, "I was very shocked because I didn't know what was going on at first. You never really hear about that happening around here in our neighborhood." Among the items retrieved from Richard's residence by police were 2 firearms, ammunition, and a hatchet. They also found text messages between Richardson and Murphy linking Richardson to Smoov's shooting on Murphy's phone. On April 13th, a routine traffic stop ended with Richardson's arrest. Charges relating to Smoov's shooting were added to the previously mentioned indictments. According to Smoov's obituary, he was a die-hard sports fan, particularly NFL's Miami Dolphins. Additionally, he is survived by Diane Wycliffe, his mother, Ralph Wilmore, his father, Stephen Hemphill Sr., Farrakhan Hemphill, Asmar Hemphill, Kadar Hemphill, and Rhonda Hemphill, his siblings, as well as many, many extended family. Please know that we all mourn his loss with you. Now let's move on to March 10th and the beating death of Mark Anthony Gilbert Jr. Around 1:30 a.m. on March 10th, 2022, Greensboro police were summoned to the 600 block of West Terrell Street for what was documented as a disorder. The 911 caller reported a man was currently being beaten and lying near a dumpster. Upon arriving, they found 40-year-old Mark Anthony Gilbert Jr. brutally beaten but still alive. He was rushed to the hospital where he soon expired from his injuries. Police were not immediately able to locate Gilbert's 2010 Chrysler 300 with rather distinctive damage to the rear bumper. Gilbert's wallet and phone were also missing from the scene. Lisa Gilbert, Mark's ex-wife, stated, "Anyone who knew him knew he was a sweetheart. I used to call him a giant teddy bear. These kids have to suffer from never seeing their dad again. I just wanna know why." Me too, Lisa. Me too. The last time Richardson was on law enforcement radar was in 2003 when he was released after serving 9 years for robbery with a dangerous weapon. This section is shorter than I would like because I would really like to tell you more about who Gilbert was before he died. Unfortunately, that information simply is not available to the public. Now let's talk about the kidnapping and murder of James Goolsby. James Devin Goolsby was last seen in the area of 1118 Summit Avenue on March 25, 2022. He is 6 feet tall and weighs 180 pounds. He was last seen wearing a white t-shirt, red Nike athletic pants with Jumpman printed on the left leg, and light blue high-top sneakers. This flyer was created after Goolsby's disappearance was reported on March 28th. As police investigated Goolsby's disappearance, they suspected foul play from the very early stages of the investigation. Mainly because Goolsby's girlfriend said that last time she saw him, he left the house with Richardson. Richardson was already suspected in the other 2 murders we've already discussed. Police did not have enough evidence to charge him yet, though. Candace Ryan, the woman we were just talking about, stated, "I told him before I left for work, before they left, I told him I don't think you should go, but he trusted anybody." Ryan also said, "We have a camera, so immediately I knew who he had left with. I've never personally met the man, but that was how I knew who he had left with. That's when I knew something was wrong." Ryan also told police she had met Richardson's girlfriend, but had never met Richardson, had only seen him from afar. At some point shortly after leaving Goolsby's home with Goolsby, Richardson killed him. Richardson then drove over 50 miles and dumped the dismembered body off a Taylor Road bridge into the Mayo River in Spencer, Virginia. Richardson told police where to locate the body and admitted to driving the remains and dumping them, but denied killing Goolsby. Matter of fact, he denied killing all three of them. I can't find any information on Richardson's plea, trial, or sentencing. If you have some information, I'd love to hear it in a comment. Let's wrap this video up, shall we? Richardson fits the technical definition of a serial killer. According to the FBI definition, anyone who kills 3 or more people in 3 or more separate events is a serial killer. But to me, Richardson just seems like a career criminal and a pretty good one. I mean, he went 19 years without getting caught for anything. But there's no way he went from 0 to 900 miles an hour in criminal activity. There is just no way he kept his nose completely clean for 19 years and then in 2 months killed 3 people. It just doesn't work like that. From what Smoov's mother said, I believe he was probably a criminal too. That's not to disparage his memory in any way, just making an honest statement of what I believe to be true. The manner of his death is how criminals solve problems. Somebody owed somebody money or something along those lines, and regardless of the beef, Smoov paid the price for it. Gilbert was obviously killed for his car, phone, and wallet, although the phone may have just been taken to conceal evidence. But what was the motive with Goolsby? Was it money? Drugs? A personal beef? There does not seem to be a clear motive for this murder. Even still, this case is just not generally the type of thing I think about when I think about serial killers. Do you want to hear more serial killer cases? Let me know in a comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And remember, as always, super thanks and channel memberships are super cool. And now, I have to jam, so tag, you are it. Just after 11 p.m., they responded to a shooting on the 400 block of the... They also found text messages between Richardson and Murphy linking Richardson's to Smoov. Police were not immediately able to locate Gilbert's